Let me begin with a simple observation. We do not live in isolation. We live in networks, friends, colleagues, social circles, professional environments. Every day we engage in conversations that seem ordinary on the surface. But every so often, something happens. A comment, a question, a passing remark. Not openly aggressive, not explicitly hostile, and yet, somehow, it lingers. It unsettles you. It replays in your mind long after the conversation is over. So let me ask you directly, why does that happen? The answer is simpler and more uncomfortable than most people expect. You are not just having a conversation. You are being measured, not for understanding, not for connection, but for comparison, evaluation, and control. The invisible game behind ordinary conversations. There is a type of person who does not engage in dialogue to connect, but to position themselves. They ask questions, yes, but their questions are not about curiosity. They are about hierarchy. Where do you live? What do you do? How much do you make? These are not neutral inquiries. They are data points. And those data points are used to construct one conclusion. Where do I stand compared to you? 4 psychological types you must recognize. When you step back and analyze these interactions through a social psychology lens, patterns emerge. Most of these behaviors fall into 4 core archetypes. 1. The status seeker, driven by hierarchy. This person constantly scans the environment for signals of rank, income, profession, location. To them, conversation is competition. 2. The insecurity compensator, driven by internal instability. They are not trying to dominate you, they are trying to stabilize themselves. They compare because comparison soothes their anxiety. 3. The boundary blind, driven by lack of awareness. They don't understand social limits. They ask intrusive questions not out of malice, but out of ignorance. 4. The projection aggressor, driven by unresolved inferiority. This is the most dangerous type. They take what they feel about themselves and project it outward. Their questions are not questions. They are attacks disguised as curiosity. Why their words stay with you. Now here is the critical insight. The discomfort you feel is not caused by their strength. It is caused by your interpretation loop. An ancient Tibetan text, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, puts it with striking precision. Human beings do not see reality itself. They see the interpretations created by their own mind. Let that sink in. The moment is past. The words are gone. And yet you replay them. Why? Because the event ended, but the interpretation did not. The real mechanism of psychological pain. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You are not hurt because someone spoke. You are hurt because you held on to what was said. You replay it. You analyze it. You attach meaning to it. And in doing so, you turn a passing comment into a persistent internal experience. At that point, something subtle but critical happens. The other person is no longer attacking you. You are now attacking yourself. Why people use where you live as a weapon. Let's go deeper. In modern society, people unconsciously evaluate others using 3 primary indicators: money, occupation, location, and among these, location is the fastest shortcut. Why? Because it compresses multiple assumptions into a single signal. Economic status, lifestyle, social class, even personal identity. This is what psychology calls a heuristic, a mental shortcut. So when someone says, that neighborhood isn't very nice, is it? They are not evaluating geography. They are evaluating you. Indirectly, safely, strategically. The emotion driving this behavior. At the core of almost every such interaction, there is one emotion: inferiority. And when people feel inferior, they face 2 options. 1, improve themselves. 2, diminish others. The first path requires effort, discipline, time. The second, immediate, effortless, effective. So many choose the second. But here is the cost. It isolates them. It traps them in comparison. It prevents real growth. The most important realization. When someone tries to pull you into comparison, understand this. You are not the cause. You are the instrument. They are not reacting to your reality. They are reacting to their internal insecurity. How you break the pattern. At this point, most people make a mistake. They try to fight back. They confront. They defend. They explain. And all of that fails because it accepts the frame. So instead, you must do something far more powerful. You change the frame. 3 strategic principles. 1. Do not provide information. Their goal is comparison. Do not give them data. 2. Do not react emotionally. Emotion is confirmation of their influence. 3. Move from. O numbers, values. O comparison, perspective. O attack, neutrality or humor. The highest level technique, frame control. Weak communicators respond to questions. Strong communicators control contexts. For example, Q. How much do you make? I've learned that stability matters more to me than numbers. Q. Isn't that area kind of cheap? I care more about how I feel living there than how it's labeled. Do you see what happened? The battlefield disappeared. There is no longer a metric to compare. There is one final insight you must remember. The same Tibetan teaching gives a warning. The moment you grasp it, it becomes suffering. A comment passes. It has no inherent power, but the moment you hold on to it, you create the suffering. So remember this. The world is not disturbing you. Your attachment to interpretation is. Let go of the interpretation, and most social conflicts lose their force. What comes next? In the next lecture, part 3, we will go beyond theory. Real-life conversational scenarios. Immediate response techniques. How to neutralize social attacks in seconds. Not with aggression, but with precision. If this perspective helped you see social interactions differently, subscribe, like, and share this with someone who needs it. Because once you understand the structure, you stop reacting and you start seeing, and that changes everything.